guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Ursula Bailey, and in today's video we're going to be looking at some of the biggest astral projection myths, so stay tuned. Astral projection has been surrounded by mystery for centuries, and in humanity's attempt to understand this point of expanded consciousness, there have been a few crazy myths that have emerged. The first myth that springs to mind is that astral projection is only for the spiritually gifted. So basically that you can only achieve astral projection if you already have some kind of psychic abilities. But the truth is that everybody astral projects, whether they are conscious of it or not. And conscious astral projection is something that's available to anyone and everyone. It is true that if you are someone who is psychically gifted, then you may find astral projection a little bit easier than others. It may even come naturally to you. However, most people will experience spontaneous conscious astral projection at least once in their life. Astral projection is a skill, not an ability. This means that anyone can learn it, and with practice and dedication, anyone can master it. If you're wanting to learn how to astral project, then do check out my video on astral projection for beginners. I will link it in the description for you, and yeah, that video is just full of heaps of beginner tips and techniques to get you started. Myth number 2 is that astral projection takes years to learn. Now there's this common misconception that in order to astral project you need to be a yogi or some kind of meditation master, but this is actually not true. And in fact, the first time I consciously astral projected was actually the same day that I learned what astral projection was. At the time, I couldn't be further from some kind of enlightened yogi. I had the most unhealthy lifestyle. I was battling on and off with depression and childhood trauma. I'd just lost my dad to suicide. I was in a toxic relationship. My diet was terrible. I was drinking every weekend. Looking back now, I was generally in quite a low vibe state, yet still I managed to astral project the first time I ever attempted it. Now I know that this isn't the case for everyone, but I do feel like sometimes we overcomplicate astral projection. We get it in our head that it's this really hard, elusive thing only available to spiritual gurus, and we just hold ourselves back with this limiting belief. I always say that the first step for anyone trying to learn to astral project is to get that limiting belief out of your reality. Know in your heart that astral projection is easy, and you will find it so much easier to achieve. Myth number 3 is the myth that you are bound to your body by a silver cord. Okay, so there's this really old belief that the astral body is held to the physical body by a silver cord. According to this myth, if you travel too far, then your silver cord will snap and your body will die. And there's also some people who say that negative entities in the astral will cut your silver cord and you'll never be able to find your way back to your body. This myth comes from the belief that your soul leaves your body when you astral project, but actually you are always in the astral. You're just holding your attention to your physical awareness right now. When you astral project, you're shifting your awareness over to the non-physical. So this is what you have to remember. You are not a physical being having a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being having a physical experience. Astral projection is simply a focus shift into their wider reality, where you are existing simultaneously, regardless of whether your awareness is being held here in the physical or over there in the astral. So the silver cord myth actually started from a Bible verse, and back then, you know, people were so much more fearful of the unknown and psychic phenomena in general. So I totally get it that coming up with this idea of the silver cord was a plausible way to understand this phenomena that was likely happening to a lot of people. But honestly guys, there's no silver cord. I have looked for it many times, I've never found it, and I know many other astral projectors have come to the same conclusion. Myth number 4 is that you need to be good at visualization in order to astral project. I often have people come to me and say that they want to astral project but they can't visualize. So first of all, having no visualization ability whatsoever is very rare, and it's known as aphantasia. If you have no visualization ability, then you will struggle with reading books, remembering, planning, making your way home from, say, the store. It's things like that that usually require some kind of visual representation. I really think for a lot of people who say that they're not good at visualization, it's more of a miscommunication thing. When I visualize, I don't really see any imagery on the backs of my eyelids. It's more seeing a picture in the mind's eye. And this is not something I'm super good at myself. However, what's really helped me is to take the pressure off it being perfect and ultimately to make it enjoyable. There's things that I really love thinking about and things that I really love imagining. So if I am in a position where I'm using an astral projection technique that requires some visualization, then I think about those things that are kind of just really fun to daydream about. So again, your visualization ability will develop with practice. However, if you still find that you absolutely can't visualize, well, first of all, not every astral projection technique requires you to visualize. You can use, say, the weight back to bed method, and you don't even need to worry about that. However, if you're doing a phasing technique or something like that, what you can do is switch the visualization out for another sensation. So movement is actually really powerful for this. So instead of worrying about imagining visual imagery, imagine yourself in a state of movement. You've probably heard before about imagining yourself swinging in a hammock or climbing a ladder. I also find the sensations of falling or jumping on a trampoline to be really powerful. Eventually the visuals will click in on their own, and when they do, they will be super crisp and super detailed. My final myth for you today is that astral projection is dangerous. I've saved this one for last just because I felt like maybe there was a little bit more I needed to cover. Sadly, there is a lot of fear-based misinformation on astral projection, and you know, it's crazy because everybody is astral projecting, and also this can be such a wonderful tool for personal and spiritual development, and it makes me a little bit sad when people create these kind of fear-based misconceptions. So there are a few reasons why people think that astral projection might be dangerous, and one of the most common ones is that some people think that you can get stuck. First of all, if you are just starting out with astral projection, you're going to find it harder to stay out. Usually in the beginning, astral projection experiences are really short, and you're probably going to be wishing that you could stay out for longer. If you are ever in the position where you want to come back, it's as simple as setting an intention. So all you need to do is will yourself back to your physical body, and you'll snap back pretty quickly. Every now and then you may find it just a little bit harder to will yourself back to the physical, but you're no way going to be stuck for a prolonged period of time. And also, it's not just you willing yourself back. There will also be occasions where it's your physical body that pulls you back. So say for example, if you need to go to the bathroom or your body feels uncomfortable in any way, your physical body will make sure that it pulls your consciousness back so that you can readjust yourself. So another fear-based misconception about astral projection being dangerous is that if you leave your body, then you leave yourself vulnerable to possession from a demon or some other entity. So again, this goes back to that belief that when you astral project, you are leaving your body and having some kind of external experience. But this is incorrect. You are a multi-dimensional being. You are existing in the astral even when you are not holding your point of focus there. And astral projection, you know, it's more like opening your eyes a little wider rather than going somewhere externally. You can't be separated from the physical body because you aren't being held in the physical body in the first place. This is only one point of reality. It's just a focus point. Being in the physical body is a choice. It's a choice you're making for the purpose of experience. To experience things like time, space, polarity, all the things that make you human. You are no more vulnerable to possession or psychic attack than you would be in a dream or even just being present in your waking reality. If you are worried about psychic attack, what you can do is visualize white light protecting your body, or you can will for yourself to be surrounded by white light. Although it's not a necessary precaution, you're already protected. But yeah, I guess it's just a permission slip that you can do for yourself to help yourself to feel more safe. If it makes you feel safe and that means that you're going to have a more positive experience, then I recommend you go ahead and do that before you astral project. Okay, so the last main misconception about astral projection potentially being dangerous is that some people will tell you that there are negative entities or negative energies in the astral that can hurt you. So there are two parts to this. First of all, very occasionally you will come across some unsavory beings within the astral, the majority of which will be thought forms usually created by fear. Now, I've had quite a bit to do with these kinds of entities, only because a lot of what I do in the astral is emotional healing and trauma healing, and I find that people, when they have traumatic experiences, sometimes those experiences can manifest as astral entities or astral energies. However, these guys cannot hurt you. What they will do is generate and feed off of fear. I never really find negative astral entities to be scary. I have got to a point in my journey where I just see them and I love them, and I'm just like, honestly, I must be the most annoying person for a negative energy to come across, because I'm just like pew, 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 sending them love and sending them healing. And that's what you got to do, you know, because most of the time these energies are thought forms that have either come from you or someone else, and they are trauma based or they are fear based, and they have grown from somebody's negative experiences, and what they really need is healing. So what you can do if you come across one of these negative entities, first of all, if you don't want to experience it, you don't have to experience it. Simply will yourself to be somewhere else and you will go somewhere else, and you don't have to deal with that if you don't want to. However, if you feel comfortable to deal with a negative energy, then you can perhaps ask it what it represents. And you can check your own emotional state as well. How are you feeling? Because if you're feeling fearful, then it could be that you've just manifested this kind of fear-based entity right then and there. So do check in on your own emotions, and if you are feeling a little bit scared, then try to really just center yourself. What you can do is use affirmations like I am safe, I am protected. Those can be really helpful, and if this negative entity is your own thought form, then just using those affirmations will help it to be transmuted. The other thing you can do is, like I said, send it love, send it healing. So one effective way you can do this is to create a ball of light in your hands and fill that light energy with love. And when you're ready, kind of just shoot it out as if you're a Dragon Ball Z character, and just fire all that love and all that healing towards any negative entity and transmute it that way. So guys, speaking of love and light, that's all I've got for you today. But if you liked this video, please leave me a heart emoji in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.